Welcome to this week's edition of hashtag AskWWN. This is episode number 2. As a reminder, tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskWWN, and you can also email us questions. Obviously, our email is posted on our website, worldwrestlingnews.com, and of course, remember to check out our affiliates as well. We've got horrorsport.net over there, and we've also got WrestleReact over there with Joe Omega and Frank Manzo. Well, our first question is, this reader says, do you see Kurt Angle being released by TNA Wrestling considering he's always injured and now in rehab? Well, no. TNA is not going to release Kurt Angle. Well, Dixie Carter and the company have been behind him 100% since entering the rehab this month. And, he has 1 year remaining on his current TNA contract and is expected to work through it. And, speaking of Angle, he is advertised for Team 3D Wrestling Academy show on September 14th in Melbourne, Florida. So that's just a little update on Kurt Angle's status. Our next question is, what does Daniel Bryan have to do to overtake John Cena to become the face of the WWE? Well, becoming the face of the WWE is something that just happens, There's not a checklist to become it. Everything depends on the popularity and how the crowd reacts. As you know, I am a huge Daniel Bryan fan and believes he is the best in-ring worker in the company right now. And I'm also very high up on the current chase for the WWE title. But I still think it's going to be very difficult to overtake Cena as the face of the company. And, even though he's out for 4 to 6 months. John is still in his prime with WWE. And, WWE is going to ride him for as long as they can. They're going to get as much out of him as they can. And, we obviously already expect him to return at the Royal Rumble as well. And I'm waiting because I think when he returns, he's going to get cheered so much. If he returns and he just gets flat out booed, it means that they just flat out didn't miss him, I guess. And I hear a lot of reports about him not being missed, but I already miss John Cena. I look forward to John Cena coming out every week. Because, he puts on the best show that he possibly can. Which is why he is the face of the company. Which is why he is the man that you go to. He is the man that you've got to beat to become the man. And Daniel Bryan has really proved that. He beat John Cena at SummerSlam. He's the one. He is the best. He's the man. That's all I can say. Is there any truth to rumors that Goldberg is in talks with WWE? Well, we're being told here at WorldWrestlingNews.com that the desire to have Goldberg at WrestleMania 30 is there. And, the desire to have Goldberg at any WrestleMania is there. But, however, there isn't an agreement that has been reached. Goldberg stated as much at Legends of Wrestling Night in Miami, Florida, earlier this month. Dialogue between WWE and Goldberg is open. He'll be featured in the new WWE 2K14. Check that out on our website, by the way. And they're releasing a DVD on him. However, these licensing and merchandising deals are different from an in-ring return. I myself admit I'm not holding my breath down, but I can tell you that the desire is there. Our next question is this is also our final question. Our next question has to do with TNA. The question is, now that Bellator has 3 of their active fighters working as talent in TNA, do you see any possibility of TNA sending a couple of their wrestlers to fight for Bellator? The first name that jumps at me is Samoa Joe. I actually think he would do pretty well in the cage. What are your thoughts? Well, it certainly is interesting, and to be honest, I really haven't given it a whole lot of thought. But, Viacom, the parent company of Spike TV and Bellator, loves the crossover with TNA Wrestling. While the partnership is something scorned by most of the IWC, it could be the very thing that really sustains TNA in the long term. And I definitely think that a TNA wrestler in Bellator is a possibility, but like is the case for most fighters in the ring, it would take a lot of training and preparation, and I haven't really heard any names that have inquired about a crossover. But, it really is an interesting thought. Well, that really wraps it up for this week's hashtag AskWWN, episode number 2. As a reminder, tweet us your questions at W Wrestling News, or you can also email them to us, and that, of course, is worldwrestlingcompany.net@gmail.com. But until next time, thank you for tuning in